Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Walking with God. I'm your host, Kyle Walker. It is Wednesday, November 28th, 2018. Yes, I said Wednesday. We got pushed back a whole day. I'm sorry for that. In case you didn't know, there was a blizzard that happened to blow into Kansas City that made things a little difficult. So we got pushed back a day. Sorry about that. But we are here on a Wednesday evening. Not that anyone listening on the podcast is going to care. But if you're joining me live, which a few people are, again, I'm sorry for having to move us back a day. First thing I want to do is I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had a good time with friends and family and whatever it is that you do. Personally, I go and play football and hurt myself and realize that I'm a lot older than I used to be, but I still had a great time playing with a group of friends. I think we figured out this was our 17th or 18th year of playing football on Thanksgiving Day, so that was super cool. We had a good time. I see Joe is in the chat room. Our buddy Joe, what's up, man? Glad you joined us, as always. Speaking of Joe, that segues beautifully into my next point. I really want to take the time to thank Joe and Carol, who came on the show last week. Just so you guys know, this isn't just like we show up, we sit down, and we turn the camera on. It is certainly a little more in depth than that. I know that we had at least 2+ hours of meetings together to talk about the show and talk about the directions we wanted to go and the things we wanted to say. And then, of course, the show itself, which was over an hour last week. It's not just showing up and sitting down and turning on a camera. We put a lot of effort into that show. Joe and Carol gave me over 3 hours of their time, of their personal time, to try and make a show that people would enjoy and that would be beneficial. So when I say thank you, it is not just an off the cuff thank you. I want to really thank them both for the time that they spent in front of the camera and behind it, trying to make that show the best that we could. So thank you very much to them. I really appreciate that, as always. The responses to last week's show, if you didn't catch it, of course you can go catch it on the website, or you can find it here on the Facebook page, whatever works out best for you. The responses to last week's show about the church and the LGBTQ community were varied. There were some people who thought it was a great show and really enjoyed it and kind of loved what we were doing. There were people who didn't care for it. There were people who thought that our message wasn't spot on, or at least not in their agreement. And then, of course, there was a lot in between, people who maybe didn't think that we hit the nail on the head, but they at least applauded our attempt and our wanting to get this issue out in front of people and not being afraid to talk about it, which we're not. So the responses varied. So whatever your response was, the only thing I told people was be respectful. And I'm very glad to say that everybody absolutely was. There was nobody who came at us and tried to attack personally or attack positions or attack people. There was none of that. So even though some people disagreed and some people didn't really care for the show, nobody was disrespectful about it. So to all of you who gave feedback in any way, shape, or form, good or bad or neutral or indifferent, thank you very much. You guys did exactly what I was hoping you would do. You were respectful, and I appreciate it. What I find interesting, and this is where I'm going to tick some people off, some feedback that came to me personally kind of got my attention, shall we say. I was told by a couple folks that this podcast, this show, has always been in the realm of divorce and adult single life and single parenting and even some marriage and relationship type stuff. In not so many words, I was basically told to stay in my lane, which I thought was kind of funny. Two people suggested that I stick to what I know and I don't venture into other aspects of life, shall we say. And to those people, I appreciate your feedback as always. Thank you very much for offering it. No chance in hell. I will talk about whatever I darn well want to talk about. And if I have people who ask questions, we're going to answer those questions to the best of my ability. So there is my response to staying in my lane. There is no way I am just going to stay in this lane. I will go to whatever lane I want. Just call me a race car driver. There I go. So anyway, that is just kind of our wrap up of last week. Whatever you thought of the show, I'm so glad that we got the issue out in front of people. We presented it the best we could, and you can make up your own mind. You are grown adults, because I'm pretty sure I don't have kids listening to this. you're grown adults. Do with it what you will. I'm just glad that we shined a light on something that needs to have a light shined upon it, if you will. So it's out there. Do with it what you will. But, no matter what your position is and which side you might rest closer to, and I'm not even saying that they're sides. This is not a conflict. It's not a battle. Just, treat everyone with respect and love and grace that you want to be treated with. And it really doesn't matter what their position is, because we are all fallen. We're all sinners. We all do stupid things. For me, it's on the daily, if not the hourly. So just, walk with love, and everything's going to work for itself. It's going to take care of itself. So there's my humble opinion on the matter. That is my summary of last week's show. Thank you all for the feedback, and thank you for sharing what you thought about it. So let's move on. Let's see here. I did get some notes, because I know there's like just a ton of stuff to tackle this week. So yesterday, here we go. Yesterday was Giving Tuesday, which is a Facebook, at least I know that they led the way on it, a Facebook initiative to try and get people to donate to various causes and charities. It's right after Thanksgiving, so you can kind of show your thanks for people and places and things, whatever you're passionate about. And so this show is not a 501c3, not as of yet. I've been told I need to get that done. It's something that is rather time consuming. I did put out yesterday, I kindly asked that if anyone wanted to, if they were looking for a home for their donation dollar, to consider this show. I did have one person take me up on that. So we got one new donor for this show as of yesterday. So I just wanted to throw out a huge thank you for that. It really, it makes me almost emotional that there are now 7 people who believe in this show enough to offer it money. That's kind of the big thing. It's one thing to watch the show, which of course I love. It's one thing to hit the like button, which of course I love. It's another thing to invest your own personal funds into it. And so for Kat, Hope, Joe, Jen, Kayla, Patty, and now Kelly, I want to thank you all so much for your support of this show and what we're trying to do here for people, for the divorced people, which is how this show started, and to everyone else that we touch in between. Thank you all for that support. I cannot express in the right words how much it means to me that you are willing to do that. So you're amazing. If this little spiel has touched you deeply and you want to be mentioned yourself, go to the website, www.walkingwithgodradio.com, and hit the Patreon link if you are feeling so called to do so. If you're not, don't. If you are, that's how you get to it, and we can just kind of go from there. And you can choose your donation dollars if you so desire. If we got 100 people giving $2 a month, then this show is sitting pretty, and we can just reach a ton of people that way, which is kind of what we want to do. Okay, now I promise. Last piece of housekeeping coming up right here, okay? So I understand that we as a show here are not on we're not a huge national phenomenon. Not yet. Yeah, I get that. What I do have are like some great fans. Like, you guys are diehard fans. I know that when I hit the button and go live, people show up, and that's what's really cool. I know we've got 6 people right now, and I have people who always want to know, what night are you on, what time are you on. So I know that there are people who wait for this show, and so you guys are awesome. When I hit go, boom, you are ready to rumble. So what we're doing though is we are deadhead into the holidays. Like, the holidays are right around the corner. They are here. We're done with Thanksgiving, and you can see I got the Christmas stuff already going behind me. So next week's show is going to be the last one of 2018. All right, because you guys are so loyal to this show and listening that I don't want to take up your Tuesday nights. Really, I want you to go out. I want you to enjoy the holidays. We're going to take some time off. We're going to be back in 2019, of course. I looked at the calendar. I think we're going to make our return on January 8th of 2019. So in your next few weeks off, I am going to make a request of you. And this is the same request that I made last year, and nobody took me up on it. So are you ready? All 6 of you who are watching right now, and anyone who watches after the fact, here is my challenge to you. And it's the same one I gave you last year. On the Facebook page, okay, you got to go to the Facebook page for this one. The website, while wonderful, doesn't work for what I want you to do. Go to the Facebook page, go to the videos tab. I want you to find the episode and it doesn't matter which one. I want you to find the episode that spoke to you. Okay, find the one that you really enjoyed or that got the most out of. Just find the one with your favorite hat. It really doesn't matter. Whatever, just find it and share it. If you will just find your favorite episode and share it just on your personal page, that is how people get exposed to things. That's how someone who might need this show finds the show, is because you just shared your favorite episode, and then they get hopefully drawn to it. So that is my request to all of you, is to go to the videos tab, find the episode that spoke to you, find your favorite hat, find the one with the best message, find the one where I didn't sound like a blithering idiot, whatever the case might be. Hit the share button and just share one episode. Just one episode between now and 2019 when we come back on the air. Again, we'll be on next week, but then after that, that is your assignment. Because, it's one of those things, you never know who's going to see it. I told you guys from the jump on this show, I would love nothing more than to do this show 4 hours a day for a big radio station, and this is how I make my living. Okay, well, the only way we're going to get that is if somebody sees it. So your share might be the one that takes this show big time. If this is something you believe in, then do that for me, and we will call it square, and everything will be wonderful. So there's my assignment. Again, nobody took me up on that last year, so I figured I would try it again this year. What the heck? What's the worst that could happen? It works. So here's tonight's episode, and some people aren't going to like it, and I'm okay with that. So when we came back on for the start of season 2, which was back in the fall, which was 15 episodes ago, as this is our 15th episode of season 2, people told me that they liked the show, but I needed to not speak about divorce so much. And again, it wasn't a stay in the lane kind of thing, but married people wanted to listen to this show too, and there wasn't a lot of stuff that pertained to them. Okay, I have kept that in the back of my mind, and have been trying to find more subjects that are kind of all-encompassing. Well, if you'll remember a couple weeks ago, I posted on the Facebook page that I was going to do a website exclusive, super secret, podcast only, not a go live on Facebook show. And that I was gonna record it and put it on the website, and the only way you're gonna see it was on that. If you happen to see that message on the Facebook page, you might have noticed that no show ever came. There's a reason for that. I was going to do that show out of anger due to a situation that had happened that really didn't happen to me, but I was involved in. And so I slept on it for a night and realized that the show I was going to do was 100% out of anger. It was going to be to air my grievances with this situation. It probably wouldn't have done anybody any good. I'm still going to probably get fired up talking vaguely about it this evening, but it was something that really, really upset me. And so I thought better of it. I didn't do the super secret podcast show that you can only find on the website. We're gonna kind of talk about it and a few other things tonight. So I'm going to start this by phrasing it this way. We're going to talk about marriage and married people. Here is the caveat to that. I'm going to be painting with very broad strokes. If this stuff doesn't pertain to you, super, it doesn't pertain to you. Make sure it never does. I know that these things are happening. They are happening in pieces of people's lives that I have seen. So I know that they're there. I'm not making this up for the sake of ratings with the 8 people now watching this show. Thank you, all 8 of you. So I don't want you to think that I'm generalizing. I don't want you to think that I'm picking on every married couple on God's green earth. I'm not. Okay, and when we get to the end of this, I think you're going to understand that I am in no way, shape, or form bashing marriage, but there are aspects that we need to talk about for whoever might be listening tonight. So I'm going to start this with a question for all you married people who might be watching. And this is as delicate as I can put this question. What in the actual hell is wrong with you people? You guys are seriously ticking me off, and we're going to discuss this here tonight because I've reached the boiling point with so many married people right now. And I understand. I'm sitting here as dumb old divorced Kyle. I get it. But I can watch situations and I can see where you're about to go wrong. How can I do this? I've been there. I've seen things go wrong. For 8 years, I've observed marriages blow up. All of this after mine blew up. So trust me, when I see stuff, I see the red flags and I see things as they're about to happen. And I am seeing this more and more and more. So what I've got here, and like I said, painting with broad strokes, be ready. But I have said repeatedly, I know this is not the first time you're going to hear it from me, that social media is the worst thing to happen to relationships ever, marriages ever. All right, I know of one person who disagreed with me on that. Nobody else has taken anything up with that. But I stand by that statement more than ever these days. We are so used to looking at people and life through these filters of social media. We're starting to take those filters in the way that we see people, and we are now applying those to all aspects of our lives, including our marriages, okay? And we're going to talk about this more. Okay, so think about it. Instagram is predicated on their filters. If you go to Instagram, it is to use their filters, correct? That's how you get these big, beautiful pictures that you're posting and you're Instagramming and that you're sharing with everyone. Okay, Snapchat, it's exact the same way. It's all about filters. Anymore, you don't see a picture on your phone or on the Facebook that did not in some way, shape, or form run through a filter first. That is just how we're seeing things these days. And I mean, oddly enough, and this might come as a surprise to some of you, people did not instantly sprout dog ears overnight or over the last few years. Okay, here's the secret. That's a filter. That's a filter on Snapchat. You see everyone with the dog ears? People don't really have dog ears. I know that's crazy. It blew my mind too. But we see all these pictures of people and they look amazing. All right, the color of their skin is perfect and the lighting is spot on. My lighting is not spot on. That tree is already distracting me behind me. But everything about the picture is just perfect. And then we look at our spouse. You look at the person you're with, thinking, their skin's not perfect. Well, the light in here kind of sucks. Our lives, our marriage isn't perfect. It's not Instagram perfect. And so whether we realize it or not, we're now starting to put these unreasonable expectations on our significant others. I mean, they didn't even sprout the dog ears. Your significant other didn't sprout the dog ears. I know that's wild and hard to understand. So if you follow this show's Instagram account, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will post the picture of me with the dog ears, just so you know that I can sprout dog ears when I want to. So on Instagram, we're at wwg.kw. Look for dog ears tonight, so you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, which everyone's I'm sure does. Okay, so now that we have our unreasonable expectations of how our spouse should look, the physical appearance, the Instagram perfection, okay, we go ahead and we're going to move that over to Facebook now. Facebook, another root of all evils, but that's where the show is. Funny how that works. Okay, so on Facebook, we're seeing all these pictures of our friends, our other married couples, and and they look beautiful. We're getting jealous because they're posting all these oh so happy looking pictures of them and their spouse, and they're in their cute little coats and they're on the plaza and they're taking a selfie. They got the plaza lights behind them, and oh man, look how happy they are and just look how cute they are. My spouse and I don't look like that. We're at home in our jammies. Our other friend, their spouse, they're about to take their yearly December cruise, and so they're talking about, we're going on the cruise. We're going to be in the Bahamas for Christmas. It's going to be great. And the only trip you're taking is to your in-laws who live an hour away, and you really can't stand them anyway. So that's what we're comparing ourselves to. We're now comparing. We don't have our picture perfect spouse. We don't have the cute little pictures that are being shown on social media. And so again, we're, without even realizing it, kind of holding that against our own spouses. So then you see your divorced buddy Kyle. Hey, me. Okay, so you're going to see me last weekend. I'm on my kid-free weekend. All right, so I don't have any parenting duties last weekend. My kids are off with their mother. I ran a 5K in the morning. That's cool. Here's my medal. Yeah. I played a round of golf with the boys. Yeah, that was great, man. What am I going to do after a round of golf? You guys want to go get a beer? Sure, let's go get a beer. I don't have anything better to do. All right, so I'm going to go over. I'm going to broadcast a basketball game. I got time to do that on my weekend. Don't have my kids. I'll go out to dinner with some friends. Yeah, everything's great. And at the meantime, you're arguing with your spouse on where she wants to have dinner or he wants to have dinner. And it doesn't matter where you go to have dinner because your kid's just going to order the chicken tenders anyway. Mexican joint, chicken tenders. Italian joint, chicken tenders. That's what they're going to do. But, there's Kyle. He's off at the bar. He's off doing his own thing. He doesn't have to worry about his kids. No one's ordering chicken tenders on his watch. So you're looking at all these things, okay? So your spouse doesn't look perfect. Your marriage isn't all the smiling selfies on Facebook. You don't have the free time and the freedom that your divorced friend does. Your kid still is only going to eat the chicken strips. All right, so you decide you need some entertainment. You're fed up with the way life is going. You need some entertainment. Just something to make you feel good about yourself, right? All right, so you're going to show yourself off through the filter, aren't you? Okay, so you need the excitement of the smiling selfie, and you just want a taste of that freedom. No big deal, right? All right. So you're going to turn deeper into the cesspool of social media, aren't you? You know you are. So you're going to download an app because there's 11 billion of them out there. You're going to download this app. And now, come on. You're not going to go cheat on your spouse. That's not going to happen. Clearly, you just want some positive attention. You just want some positive interaction. And, a little attention never really hurt anybody, right? It's fine. So you're going to be really careful though, okay? Because you're not going to cheat on your spouse. You don't want to send off the wrong vibes, right? You're going to be careful about that. And so on your profile, you're just going to put that you're looking for friends, right? You're just looking for friends. So you can have friends, no big deal. There's nothing wrong with having a friend. There's nothing wrong with making friends. And even if your spouse finds this or finds evidence of it, why could they be upset? You're just making friends. That's no big deal. All right, so friends, yeah, great. Okay, so now, married person, you are unhappy with your marriage and you're on a dating app, right? So you got both of these working for you. And let's not pretend like this situation is far-fetched, because I've seen this personally, me, with my own little peepers, in my life, 3 married couples that I know this calendar year, in 2018. I have seen this exact situation play out. So I could continue on with this story. You see exactly where I'm heading with it, all right? But none of us are stupid. We know exactly where the rest of this story goes because we've all seen it. If you think and go back in your data banks, you know that you have seen this situation play out before. All right, whether it's the husband, whether it's the wife, this situation is not far-fetched. This situation is almost becoming normal. And I hate saying that. So are we ready for the overly complicated, long and drawn out solution to this problem? Okay, because I hope you're ready, because here it comes. It's really not long. It's not drawn out. It's pretty simple. Stop it. The heck is wrong with you people? You guys are starting to drive me nuts with this. Are you kidding me that with the way y'all behave, do you not remember your wedding day? And I know I've said this before. Do you not remember standing in front of your friends, your family, and God and taking your vows to love someone until the day they or you die? Okay, so how soon we forget? So here's how I can guarantee that this did not go when you were in your tuxedo or you're in your pretty dress and you had your veil down and your hair all done and spent $1,000 on whatever. So here's what the minister did not say. Do you take this person to have and to hold until you get bored? Through sickness and in health, until your coworker says you're pretty. For richer or for poorer, until your Tinder profile gets approved. As long as you both shall live, or until you actually have to do some work to make your marriage better. I bet it didn't go like that. All right, I bet just because you need to do some work on your marriage, the minister didn't say, oh, well, there's your instant out. So here, I know we're already getting close to the end of this show. We're probably going to go a couple minutes over. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Do you want the Kyle tips to a better marriage? Again, as a guy who has been married, who has lost a marriage, and then now who has spent many years observing everyone else's, here are Kyle's tips to a better marriage. And I would like write a book and sell these, but there wouldn't be enough to fill up a book because I think this is all pretty common sense stuff. And this, and I put this number 1 for a reason, and this is absolutely number 1. And this is, I'm not saying this is where my marriage went wrong. I'm saying this is one of the damn few things I did right. And if you're not doing this on any level, shame on you. Do it tomorrow, and then do it the day after that, then do it the day after that. But I'm going to tell you right now, No one, no one, no one should be a bigger fan of your spouse than you are. No one. No one should applaud louder for every victory that they have. And if they go into battle for whatever, you better suit yourself up and you better walk through that hell right next to them. That is number one. I was the biggest cheerleader my wife at the time ever had. And I can guarantee you she doesn't have it now. Just saying. Just saying. It's the only time I'm going to bring back my former situation on this. But no one should be a bigger fan of your spouse than you. That's just straight up. And I will stick by that fact until the day that I keel over. Next, number 2, water your own grass. And I know we've probably all seen that little meme on Facebook, and it's 100% true. There is no greener grass on the other side. I hate that expression. Oh, the grass is always greener. No, it's really not. It's not greener. The only reason the grass looks greener is there's more fertilizer on the lawn. You know what that means? There's more bull crap. And if you think that it's greener on the other side, that's because the other side is feeding you a line of malarkey. I know, malarkey. Believe that language? Woo, fired up, I'm telling you. So look, it is not greener on the other side. You're getting fed a line if you think that. And if it looks like it from a distance, trust me, you're not walking on that grass. It might be fake. It might be artificial turf. And does anyone want that for the yard? Not unless you're the Brady Bunch. Another one. This is a no duh. But how many of you are doing this? How many of you are doing this? If you have to hide your phone from your spouse, you are already cheating. If you are setting it face down on the table, if you won't leave the room with it, if you're changing your passcode, if you're tucking it under your pillow when you're going to sleep at night, you're already cheating. Don't even act like you're not. You're an adulterer, you're an adulteress, you're whatever. If someone is blowing up your phone who shouldn't be, you're cheating. All right? Case closed. If that's what's happening, okay, I'm not saying that you're just doomed. Go ahead and sign the paperwork. Stop immediately, if not sooner. Stop now. You need to brush off whatever it is you're messing with, even if it's only texting, even if you have never met this person in real life. If you're sending inappropriate messages to someone or receiving them, you need to lock that down right now. Be done, be gone, be done with it. Move on. Because you are absolutely violating your wedding vows. And I don't care if you just want the attention or I just want to feel good or someone's actually paying attention to me. Get out of my face with that junk. Never, ever, ever. This is a big one. I will try and keep my composure on this. Never say to me personally, never say that you envy my position. Oh. Never tell me you envy my position as a divorced person, as a single parent when I have my kids, as a part-time parent, as a half and half parent. I don't ever want to hear that nonsense. Ooh, I can feel it. That fire starting to burn. When people do that to me, though, that is the closest I will become to triggered, if you want to use one of these newfangled terms. If you think that for one moment that I like my situation, you are absolutely insane. If you think for one moment I had 2 daughters, okay? 2 daughters thinking, golly gee, I hope I can only see them half the time, miss many of their life events. I hope that they can have a stepfather they hate. I hope they can come from a broken home for the rest of their lives. I hope they can, I can't tuck them in every night, you know, when they're going to bed. And I hope that I can't be there every morning when they wake up. If you think that was at all part of my plan, you're absolutely fooling yourself. You do not understand the pain that we have to live with every day, us part-time parents. Us divorced parents. If we had kids and we wanted to be involved in their lives, we never wanted it to be half the time. So don't ever tell me that you envy my situation, because I will flat lose my stuff. I don't envy my situation. I loathe my situation. Yeah. So I will tell you this with no hesitation. I would trade anything that I've done these last 8 years, any marathon that I've run, any degree I've completed, any show I've hosted, any ball game that I broadcast, which I love to do. I would gladly give that all up if I could wake up tomorrow in that shoebox old house that I hated with my daughters in sleep in the other room. At that point, at ages 3 and 8 months old, I'd give it all up. Now, look, you can't get mad at me saying, oh, he wants to go back to his ex-wife. No, I want to go back to my life 8 years ago. That's not really an option. So I don't have it. But I would take that. I would take still having my daughters for then and for the 8 years since. I would take being an everyday part of their life over this alleged freedom I have being condemned as a 50-50 part-time parent. I hate it. So if you are married and you want to come and tell me that you envy my position, I will flat lose my stuff because you don't want this position. All right. If you guys have known me for any length of time, if you know where I was, let's say 8 years ago, let's say 7 years ago, let's say 6 years ago, maybe 5, probably 4, even maybe 3, you don't want what I was. You don't want that life that I have had to scratch and claw to get away from the substance abuse to the mental stress. You don't want that. And you can prevent that there, married folk. All right. So if you can prevent it, prevent it. Okay. So don't envy me. Do not even entertain the notion of ending your marriage because you're bored. All right. Your spouse isn't perfect. And guess what there, bucko? Neither are you. Neither am I. Neither is anyone watching this show. Nobody's perfect. So don't blow up your marriage thinking that perfect is out there. It's not. You're not going to find it. And if you're looking for it, you shouldn't be. So the last part of this, and I debated on if I was going to put this in the show or not. And since I'm prefacing it right now, apparently I'm going to. And I've kind of got it written down here so that I don't mess this up. The next part of the show is directed at one person. And I'm not going to throw out names. No point. But this is where a lot more anger is going to set in. So let's say you're someone that I've known for a very long time. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you've been married over a decade. Under 15 years, somewhere in that category. Let's say that, like me, you have 2 daughters. Say that you very recently got busted having a full-blown extramarital affair. I'm not even going to say that we were just trying to feel good and get some kudos online. No. You went all the way. Not a little whoopsie. Not that there is really such a thing. And but a situation gets about as bad as it gets. And I'm not going to say who you are, but you know who you are if you ever watch this show. You had better, my friend, save your marriage. I'm just telling you right now. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't give me this. Oh, I'm trying. The hell you are. When I was about to get divorced, I was on my hands and knees in somebody else's driveway, in somebody else's neighborhood, begging my wife not to divorce me, and I wasn't even the one who had the affair. But I was still trying to save my marriage, regardless of the fact I wasn't the one who cheated. So, there, good friend of mine, whatever you can do over and above groveling, pleading, begging, you'd better do it. And that's up to and including those 3 things I just mentioned. I mean, to this person who I know and who I love, I'm just saying it right now, I love this person. But for an only child like me, you are as close as one of the closest I'm ever going to have to a brother. And brothers do not always agree. And brothers fight, but at the end of the day, they're still family. I'm still family. I still consider you my family. But if you don't make this situation right, you are going to find yourself on the wrong end of a divorce. And do not let the mother of your children just fade away. I promise you, it will be the biggest mistake of your life. And I know you've made mistakes in your life. This would be another one. This would be the biggest one, because you will never be the same after it, ever. That goes for anyone who's listening, who is going to ruin their marriage over all these fake things that we've discussed tonight. All these filters of reality, that's all they are. They are different ways of viewing reality, but it doesn't make them real. The misconception of being single, hold your spouses close, because there are those of us who would give up everything to have them and to have them again. So I want to caution you all, if you are married and you are acting a fool, you need to stop now, immediately. Make it right with your spouse, whichever end you're on, and continue forward, because you don't want this. I don't want this. No one I know wants this, that is stuck with it. So I tell you now to fix it, however that needs to be. Counseling, I'm a huge fan. Go to marriage counseling. I tried. My ex didn't want to go. It was already too far gone at that point. I'm a huge fan of counseling. Go find someone to talk to. If you need people to talk to, let me know. I'm people who knows people, and I can make that happen for you, and I would gladly do it. We can keep it as confidential as you'd like. So I will now very slowly and gracefully dismount from my soapbox. Next week is going to be it for 2018. And next week, I don't even know what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be a lot lighter than tonight. That I can promise you. I will try while we're gone. Yeah, after next week, I'm going to try and do things on the Facebook page, post stuff, keep the interactions going, keep things interesting. And then the amazing folks at Clover Hill Promotions will keep doing things with the website. So that is going to do it for this show. I tried to rush the end because I know that we're already late. But if there's anything I can do, me personally, to help your situation, to help you and your spouse, to help a marriage, I will gladly jump through any hoops. Set the hoops on fire. I'm still coming through because it's that important. And I speak from many levels of experience on that. And so if you find that your marriage is in a rough spot, it's in a difficult place, if you can identify with any of the things that I mentioned in this show, then it's up to you to do something about it. And I pray that you will. And if you need my help, I will help you. If you need me to smack you upside the head, I'll gladly do that too. Because I wish someone had done that to me 8 years ago when my marriage started to falter, where it was at a point where I could have saved it. So that's going to do it. Let's close it out in prayer. We're going to get out of here for tonight. Again, thank you all for joining me. Seriously, I don't just say that as a canned response. I thank you every week that you pop onto this show, whether you watch for the whole thing or watch for 5 minutes. I would not be sitting here doing this if it weren't for you guys supporting and watching the show. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us together tonight. I hope that this message will reach the right people, the right situations, and can lead to healing before situation is beyond repair. That's my hope. Lord, keep everyone safe. Bring everyone back next week for our last show of the year. Again, I just want to thank you for this platform, for these listeners, and for any good that I can do in the lives of those who listen. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, everyone, have a great week. We will see you next week. We'll talk about the holidays, and let's make it happy. We'll try and make it fun next week. Have a good one, and I will see you in 6 days. We'll be back Tuesday night, same bat channel, same bat time. Bye.